Happy days. Okay, tonight's episode, we're going to be talking about semen retention. And at the end of the episode, towards the end, we're also going to be talking about the optimal morning routine by Dr. Huberman. And I will put links to the description of that episode in the description in this episode. Liz, Michael, welcome. You guys good?
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, very good. How are you?
good.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm really, really good actually. I'm on like day 11 of retention right now. And you guys know I've been practicing this for over 2.5 years. It's become a very, very strong, what I say, cornerstone in my life as a practice. And tonight I would love to talk more about it because I know there's a lot of younger people just hearing about this now and or wanting to know more. So do you remember that we did this episode about a year ago? Was it about roughly about a year ago? We
Yeah, it's
actually,
about the same time I tried it myself.
yeah, yeah,
Oh
yeah.
yeah.
How do you remember? How do you find it, Michael, as a practice?
Um, yeah, I mean it was quite hard to do. To be fair, I mean I think I lasted 28 days. I think it was something
Wow.
like that. So yeah,
28 days. That's a big achievement, though. That's a
yeah,
big achievement. You feel better for it? Did you feel better for it?
no.
Why? Why
No,
did you?
mine's more medical because I've got a cyst on my right testicle.
Right.
So if I don't release, I mean, it sounds like a story. Like when you say it to a girl, she's like, "Oh yeah," but if I don't release every so often, it hurts.
Okay. That's fine. Yeah, no, I totally I can understand that. So a cyst will obviously be uncomfortable. It's not a very comfortable thing, and if it helps to,
Yeah.
release and relax your gonads, then cool. Yeah, no, totally, totally. Liz,
Well,
what's your longest?
I have no problem with it. It's something I live and have done forever. Really, I just don't ever have an issue with it. I just retain all the time.
Yeah,
So
you retain all the time.
yeah,
So obviously, you guys know, and I know that it is difficult to do. It isn't easy to do, especially in this modern climate, right? Why? Because we are so exposed to so much nudity, are we not? You know,
yeah.
apparently we're 3 clicks away at any time from pornography on the internet. I can watch within an hour more nudity than my granddad has. I can see more naked people in an hour online than my granddad has his whole life.
Gosh.
Think about that. And that's just 1 hour. So, you know, I'll admit as a man, I've had marathons of pornography in the past. Marathons. I will sit and watch hours. No shame, and I know I'm not alone. Hours, and I know women. Some women
Guilty.
can also, yeah, of course, some women can also suffer with it because it's so addictive. You guys know, and I know that there are 3 things that we cannot turn away from biologically. We are hacked to have to pay attention. That is food, that is sex, and that is violence. Anytime those 3 things are in our peripheral or in our vision, we will never look away. We are drawn to it because it's survival. That is what we are biologically. That's why successful documentaries or successful, uh, what's those things called? Programs,
TV shows, series.
TV shows, series, always
Yeah,
involve
like Game
those.
of Thrones.
Yeah, those 3 things are always involved. Game of Thrones, Vikings on Amazon. You pick another one, successful one. There is always violence, there is always sex, and there's always food. Those 3 things you cannot help but keep watching. So
Mm.
that's what we're biologically hacked. So yeah, when it comes to pornography, it's obviously one major thing, depending on what sort of kink fetishes you're in. But once you're in it and it becomes more and more addictive, it's hard to escape that biological need to keep watching. You understand? You get what I'm saying? So why is that important in regards to semen retention? Well, if you can avoid watching pornography, it will help you to retain because obviously nudity is the trigger for reproduction. Reproduction is what we need to do to survive, to sustain ourselves as a species. So, again, biological hacking. If you saw nudity in the flesh, real life, real time, excellent. You should be aroused by that and you should be getting all the stimulation and feelings to procreate having sex, if that that is what it is. However, if you are watching a digital screen, yes, you are witnessing what you would normally be witnessing in the real world, but you're not actually physically doing it. Now, if you were to ejaculate to that, okay, your brain thinks mission accomplished, job done. It thinks, and your body thinks, that you've done the physical. It thinks you've done it in reality, when in truth you haven't. You've just watched it and ejaculated, right? So it still releases the chemicals that are the reward chemicals for doing a good job. Now, the good job is meant to be a lot harder than just simply watching porn and ejaculating. The good job is meant to be physically going out there and attracting a female, and a compatible female, and doing the deed, reproduction. That's what you're supposed to be doing. Now, if you remember, we spoke about this, Liz and Michael. We are the only animal in the animal kingdom, right? As males, currently, in this current climate, that spew seed daily. Can you tell me any other animal in the animal kingdom that happily goes around masturbating and comes everywhere?
I mean, I do think sometimes my dog might possibly be like that, but
Yeah, I was going to say maybe dogs, but then I think that's more
no,
because they're confused with.
yeah.
Is that because
No,
they're
I
horny?
think you're right, Jules. I don't think there is, when you actually think about it, because in the animal kingdom, they are very nature. We need, like, we need cubs, we need babies, we need. It's just very. They don't have. Yeah, I suppose they don't have what we have. It's completely different, isn't it? So
Yes,
yeah.
it's really important to note, because when let's say a lion, for example, or a bear, or even a giraffe, yeah, any animal, if it was to keep spewing seed needlessly, endlessly, it'd be wasting a lot of energy. So why do I emphasize on energy? Because semen is the most macronutrient full serum that the human body can create. We produce other fluids like, sweat, tears, saliva, blood, urine, but nothing is as macronutrient full as semen. Because not only should it not be viewed as liquid gold, it should also be understood as nutrient full. It gives life, it creates life, it's got the power to do that. It's living, it's a power. um, Now, when a man does ejaculate and lose a lot of semen, it takes 3 days for the body to reproduce it at full potency. Okay, and I say that at full potency because the food that we eat, what we're eating, obviously has to help recreate it. If I wanted to get rehydrated, all I need is water. So it's not doesn't I can do this very quickly. I can get rehydrated in an hour. Do you get what I mean? It doesn't take that much time. But when it comes to semen, it takes a lot more than just water. Yeah, it has to get all those things. So on that as well, we have to acknowledge that the gonads, the balls, are glands. Just so you know, they are glands. So it's the same as sweat glands. It's the same as the glands in your throat that produce saliva. It's the same as the glands in your eyes that produce tears. Um, they produce on demand. Okay, they produce on demand. So this myth about, oh, semen's just sitting there and the ball's waiting to go, it's not true. It produces it whilst it's aroused. So the more that you're having intercourse, the more you're producing and building up more, hence why the more you will ejaculate. But excuse me, if you are depleted, if you are 3 days, if you've masturbated twice in a day or 3 times in a day, or even once in a day for 3 solid days, you are depleted. You are not producing full potent semen, and therefore you will not be high sperm. It will not be what you expect it to be. There's a reason why fighters, professional fighters, hold their semen, refrain from sex before a fight. Some will go weeks, some will go months. And not just professional fighters, athletes, sportsmen. Why do they do that? Why do you think they do that? Liz, Michael, viewers.
Didn't they do this for like I remember there being a story about footballers before like the World Cup and stuff like that. They're not allowed, like the women aren't allowed near them or what have you, because they want to be in best peak condition for the games. So that kind of makes sense, like that they're obviously wanting to do the whole retention thing and not have want to have the best ability to win the game. So yeah, I've heard that.
It is. It's a competitive edge. The competitive edge is given to men of high testosterone. It's the push, Lisa. Yes, on the comments, it pushes the testosterone. It gives the boost. What is testosterone?
It's
The
the
male hormone, isn't it? Like the male.
yeah, so it keeps you pumped.
Yeah.
It is. It is. It is. It is a hormone that does. It gives you the cognitive functioning to think on your feet and react in any situation. It helps to go in alignment with your adrenaline, and it helps to battle the cortisol. So it's a very, very useful hormone, and it also gives that competitive edge. But why do we need that competitive edge?
For survival and for, well, back in the day it
To be
was
better than
mainly,
others.
yeah, for survival and for also for mating, reproducing.
That's right. That's right. So we are built to succeed. We are thousands of years of evolution. Let's not forget that. So every single one of us alive right now, okay, give yourself credit, or you can't give yourself credit, but just understand what you are. You are the pinnacle of your ancestry line. You have survived. You have made it. Okay, you are the pinnacle of your ancestry line. So you are the winner. Yeah, you are here. You are built to succeed. We are just programmed to fail. All right. And this is what I want to try and highlight, that biologically, you are hardwired with all the chemicals that get released to achieve. But if you are achieving without doing, then you're not achieving at all. It's the complete opposite. That's why the war against, pornography and masturbation and semen release needs to be we need to fight a little bit harder, hence why the practice. Now, we're not alone when I say this. Most will think, is he just on a one-man show here doing this retention thing? Is this something? No, this has been a practice for a very long time in our existence. It's called rites of passage. In the days when tribes were about, whether that is Nordic Vikings, whether that is tribes in Africa, whether it is British longbowmen, right, from the day, each young man would go through a process of rites of passage. So at each stage, because I don't believe in age, I believe in stage. If you could show traits of being able to draw the longbow, or being able to hold above your head the chainmail, or whatever the ritual may be to show that you are of a stage of the next path on your rites of passage, normally the men who have already been there and done it would take the younger men out into the wilderness and teach them all the things they need to know: warcraft, bushcraft, survival. No women will go with them. None. It is a distraction, and we're not here for that. You don't need that yet. The only reason that you need that is for when you are ready. And when you are ready, procreation, mission accomplished. Go in there and ejaculate in her for as much as you want, because you do deserve it. You've earned it. Modern society now, today's day and age, it no longer exists. It's instant gratification. You can get the body and the brain thinks mission accomplished before you've even done anything. You're not even a man. You're a boy, and you're achieving the goal. How is that even? How? You're as young as 15 years old. You're a baby, and you're achieving the goal. How? Okay, and therefore it puts them at a state of depletion for a long period of time, because they're battling the dopamine. They're battling the chemical of success without achieving anything. And I'm hands up. I'll say it. I'm a flipping man, like a young man at that. The integration of the rites of passage, the taken away from the females, the taught the warcraft, taught the bushcraft. I'm lucky, I suppose. I was a soldier for 8 years, so I maybe I had a deep inner need for that, and I did a lot of that. But it still couldn't take me away from pornography, because I had access to it. Do you get what I mean? On my phone. So even if I did still go through the rites of passage biologically, I still was built to succeed, programmed to fail. Do you get what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So why is this important for both men and women? Mothers, if you have a child, young boy, you now know this. You know this. So, you can aid him. If you're a father, you have a young boy, you're a man anyway, you know this. You can do this. And I do believe that it isn't about saying no. You don't say no. You just give them the information, give them the education, help them understand. Even if you got to, even if I think my TikTok's been banned. Yeah, my live's been ended on TikTok.
Wow.
Got banned.
Why?
It got reported.
Yeah, I
Oh,
think it was that girl that said unresearched or something.
oh,
Bitch.
oh, we've been banned.
But
Maybe
actually banned like forever, or
your access to go live will be restored on July the 3rd.
oh, that's today.
Oh,
How
what?
strange.
Well, I can't go live. That's that. TikTok's down. No problem. So yeah, what was I just saying, guys? Sorry, I completely
You were
lost my.
saying if you're 15 and
Yeah, achieving the goal, achieving the
yeah,
goal. So the rites of passage, no longer exists in current society because the 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 young bodies of young men are releasing the mission accomplished chemicals, dopamine, serotonin, and a good flush of it every time they ejaculate without actually achieving anything. It's quite sad.
it is.
Yeah, proper.
But then there's not really anybody teaching this. When they do like sex education in the schools, I don't think they're really discussing semen retention and the benefits of it for these young lads. And I don't think a lot of dads probably are aware of it unless they practice it like yourself, Jules.
Mm.
I didn't really know anything about it until I knew you.
Yeah, same. Yeah, I had a pain from Jules.
You've educated me on it.
It's not a, it's funny because I always kind of knew it deep down. So when after I ejaculated, even the next day, I'd always feel groggy. I'd have brain fog. Do you know what I mean? I wasn't my best self. But when I started boxing, and then my coach said, right, do not come for 7 days. I need you flipping wanting to tear someone's head off by the seventh day. Do you know what I mean? And what he was referring to, and I don't think he knew about retention either. He just knew it worked, wanting to tear someone's head off. It was all masculine energy, build up of masculine energy, that need for release, that need of testosterone. Now, testosterone in males this day and age is 50% lower of that of 100 years ago. That is a flipping big drop in testosterone, natural testosterone, 50%. So we are half the men we used to be. We're half. That's sad, isn't it?
Yeah, it's mental, isn't it?
And that's probably because of a lot of things. It could be down to food. It could be down to climate. It could be down to society. There's loads of variable factors involved.
So many things, isn't there?
Yeah, I mean, you could even go as far as saying like the chemical hormones within our bodies biologically. Like, are we producing more? What's the female one? Estrogen.
Yeah.
More estrogen than testosterone in males. And it can be said. A lot can be said, but it's really important. Sorry to highlight. How long have we been talking for so far, guys? Because
nearly 20 minutes.
Okay, wicked. So let's talk about the increased libido. That's a really good part of semen retention. So when you do retain for anything over 3 days, you will naturally start to get the horn, depending on your age. Now, 1 in 3 men suffer from erectile dysfunction, and that is a natural erectile dysfunction because they're not stimulated. But when you do retention, it isn't, it isn't your fault if you are if you have erectile dysfunction, unless you are contributing to it through choice of diet, lack of movement and exercise, or even things like smoking, not allowing the blood flow. So if you are contributing to it, that's your own fault. But naturally, it's normally down to not being stimulated. So when you do undergo semen retention and you get that fury, you want to rip someone's head off, it actually does also increase libido, so you become more attracted to females. The sight of a female, the scent of a female, the pheromone of a female will turn you on, and naturally you may find that your libido increases. But this is the kicker. This is the real kicker. Yes, pornography you can get off to. It could be whatever your kink fetish, whatever you're into, fine. But in the real world, you have to seek what you are looking for. Do you get what I'm saying? So you could come across hundreds of women, and you naturally will, because in all honesty, we as men could have 365 kids in 1 year when you think about it.
Yeah.
But there's a reason we don't, and that is because of the gene pool. So, Liz, I said it to Michael earlier. I don't know if you know about the experiment where they took 100 men, and they made them wear T-shirts for 3 days. Then they took 100 women, and 50% of the women were on birth control, and 50% of the women were not. Then they gave these T-shirts to all these women, and they made them smell them. They just said, "Smell that T-shirt. You like it or not? Would you be interested in dating this man or not?" And they said yes or no. The 50% that were on birth control smelt the T-shirts and chose the men that were more like themselves in the gene pool, similar to themselves, which goes against nature, because the women that were not on birth control smelt the T-shirts and chose the men that were polar opposite to themselves in the gene pool. And that's important, because for the gene pool to work, we do have to cross. They can't. The further apart you are, the more healthier the child will be. The closer you are, the more incest it is. Does that make sense? Did you understand what I'm saying? So the
Yeah.
baby will become deformed. So by nature's design, you are supposed to go on polar opposites. Opposites attract. That's probably why later on down the line, when they come off birth control, they no longer find their partner attractive, because they are seeking what they're supposed to be naturally. Yeah. So why am I saying this? Because when you are doing semen retention and you're increasing your libido and you're on the hunt for this female, not any will do, because you cannot be with just any. So you will be seeking what you're compatible with, and your chemistry and your connection, and that's natural. That's the natural. So it's not in your, if you will, conscious mind, it's in your subconscious mind. You will smell the pheromone as she will smell yours on a T-shirt, for example, and that's when you know. Bloody hell, it's her. It's her. That's the one. That's the one I need to impress. That's the one I need to be with. That's the one that I need to put all my energy and effort into getting. Just her, that one there. How do you know that? I don't know how I know that. Bro, you are mad for that one. I know. Bro, if you could have any of them, it's not, I don't give a fuck about any of them. It's that one. Do you know what I mean? That's how it works. And therefore that's it. But for females, they look in different traits. It's not that, don't get me wrong, if they're not on birth control, it's better for them to find. They will find the one they're looking for. But they also, the man has to demonstrate traits that will protect her. What's the word I'm looking for? In the real world.
Yeah.
Physically robust enough, survival, all of those characteristics and traits. Whereas for a man, it is just simply whether or not she's, the gene pool, and she's of breeding age. Do you get what I mean? Like if she's able to have a baby or not. Because if she's past that, then there's no point. Do you know what I mean? There's no.
Yeah. It's more attractive if there's a chance of breeding.
That's it. She has to
So
be
it's
able
like
to.
the hips, isn't it? So the hips are more rounder, like more broad. Then that's more attractive, because that's more likely that she can give birth.
I know those hips, childbearing hips. Yeah.
I love that. Okay. So yeah, I really appreciate you guys for being on tonight. And all of the viewers watching right now, we are the Elite Thinking Club. We've been going for this is our 3rd year. And if you're liking the episode so far and you've watched this so far, you should definitely hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and tune in for future episodes. We really appreciate that. We have got a merch store. So if you wanted to, you can purchase some of our merch. It is called, is at the elitethink.club. And go and get yourself a hoodie and or a pair of socks,
Or a
whatever.
towel,
Or a towel. Or a cup. Yeah. And support the podcast. We are also on Spotify. We are on Amazon. We are on Google Podcasts and Apple Podcasts. So yeah, if you want to listen to us, you can do that too. But thanks for tuning in. Hoping you're liking it. So right, guys, I'm going to talk about something now that I found to be incredible. Combined with everything we've just spoke about, this thing has just, so it's my cornerstone for success now. I will never not do it. And I'm referring to an optimal morning routine that I learned from Dr. Huberman. Okay. I'll put the link to what I watched on YouTube with Dr. Huberman and After School. He paired up with After School. And I swear to you, I've been doing it and it is just had this phenomenal impact on my lifestyle. That's all it is. It's a lifestyle change. So not only am I sleeping better at night, I'm waking up earlier in the morning and I'm achieving more in the day. And there's a science and biological hack as to why that is. So I'm talking about the optimal morning routine. Guys, have you heard of sonic bloom?
Nope.
I've heard of Sonic the Hedgehog, but
I went to say that, but I was like, nah.
So,
not heard of Sonic Bloom. What is it?
okay, so there was a farmer somewhere who discovered that the birds sing a specific frequency every morning 1 hour before the sun comes up. When the birds sing in the morning, it triggers to the plants that they need to start blooming 1 hour before the sun comes up. Because the plants don't have ears, but they feel the frequency of the sound frequency, right? So the plants start to bloom. So that way, when the sun comes up, they are already open, so they don't lose an hour's sunlight. Because if they wait for the sun to come up and then start blooming, they lose an hour.
Right.
And that's known as sonic bloom. So what he did is he tapped into that frequency, discovered that it is the same frequency used on classical music, and he put speakers up all around his fields and played classical music to his crops all day. And he produced 5 times more crop in that year than he ever had ever.
Wow.
Sonic bloom.
That is fascinating.
That's very cool.
Right. Now, I'm also going to ask you, do you think that those birds singing that frequency are specifically for plants alone?
Well, I would say they were communicating with each other.
Oh, no, that's during the day when you hear them chirping away. No. We're talking about when they sing in the morning. That
Okay.
specific bird sing. You know when it's like...
So it's for the plants, I guess it's telling us to rise and bloom and wake up as well.
Yes, it is nature's alarm clock.
Yeah.
It is nature's way of saying time to wake up. Living beings, living things, wake up. The sun is about to come up in an hour. So,
Well, they haven't got a watch in my area because they start singing at like 3 o'clock in the morning.
yeah, Michael, I know it's crazy. Michael, I've been up at 4 a.m. for the last for quite a few days this month, like last month. 4 a.m. I've been up. Now, obviously, you're thinking, how? Why? Well, it's fine because I've not only adopted Dr. Huberman's optimal morning routine, I've also adopted his optimal evening routine. So I was going to talk about that as well. And I will talk about that. I was going to save that. I want it to be a surprise. So this optimal morning routine and this optimal evening routine, they go hand in hand, like the chicken and the egg. What comes first? Which one? It doesn't matter. They're both there. You can begin tonight as the optimal evening routine, or you can begin tomorrow morning with the optimal morning routine. Either way, they set each other up for success. Okay. So if you're doing one, chances are the other one you're going to be doing, and it's going to be a successful rotation. Now, when the birds sing, and they're letting you know it's nature's way of waking up, okay? Dr. Huberman says that we need to get natural sunlight in our eyes. Natural sunlight. So what does that mean? It means zero screen time. Zero screen time. So for that first hour when you wake up and that last hour before you go to bed, do not look at any digital device. No screen. Okay? Because it's messing with your brain. What you want is natural sunlight and natural sunset. Why? Because your body has a circadian rhythm. Every single cell in your body has a 24-hour clock, and that 24-hour clock is triggered by the photons in the sun. Have you ever witnessed a sunrise or a sunset and you cannot explain why you are hypnotized by it?
Yes, totally. When I was on holiday in Cornwall, I watched the sunset like pretty much every night, and I was up and sitting outside and the sun was like on my face, And I felt so much better in myself, in my soul, and just, I just felt so, I can't explain it, but it was, and it's so right that we should be watching the sunset. And yeah, totally.
Michael, do you like a sunset? You like a sunrise?
Yeah, I mean, I like a sunset, but mostly just because of the nice colours, and it's the colours. I mean, I don't get into all the energy and all that sort of stuff.
You are into it,
It's just,
Michael.
No, but you're hypnotized by the
no,
colours.
if you took a picture of it and showed me a picture of the sunset, I'd still go, oh, that looks amazing.
Yeah, true. That is true.
You're hypnotized by the colours, though, because
Well, I'm colourblind, so I
Oh,
probably don't see the same colours you
that
do.
just killed it, didn't it? I thought I put a really good comment on there.
Well, what the sun is doing is releasing specific photons, okay? And these photons get absorbed by our eyes, which then tell the brain that it's time to start the circadian rhythm, okay? That's why it's important to get natural sunlight in the morning and in the evening and not screen time. So you're waking up to nature's call. You are getting natural sunlight in your eyes. What else do you need to do? Well, you don't need to do this, but I've learned that the Wim Hof ice method, the ice bath, or the cold shower in the morning, is really, really good to three things. Activate your vagus nerve. The vagus nerve runs from the brain all the way down the nervous system, all the way to your fingertips and your toes. It's the biggest one. It sparks everything, especially your internal organs, which then you can aid your metabolism. So not only are you waking up to natural sun and you are sparking your vagus nerve by doing cold water exposure, you can also aid your metabolism, which is good for getting protein in your body. Okay, so you get your protein in once your vagus nerve is activated because you're calling for it. Breakfast, break the fast, right? Why is it important to kickstart your day with cold water exposure? Because what you are doing is setting the bar for your daily amount of cortisol, dopamine, and adrenaline. When you submerge your body or expose your body to cold water, those three things spike off the Richter spike high, right? It is a very uncomfortable thing to do, but the brain releases all the chemicals to make you succeed. Let's look at dopamine like the drive, not the well done. Yeah, let's look at it like the drive. If you have a high level of dopamine, your body for the rest of the day is prepped to seek more of it because you set the bar so high. Adrenaline speaks for itself. Your body is alive, alert, and ready to fight or flight, whatever. The cortisol is important because that spike in the morning sets you up for a day of peace and calm, because in theory, nothing else in the day should ever feel like it did in the morning. Do you get what I mean? That shock, that scare, that level of, oh, I'm going to die. I have to.
You can kind of deal with anything. Like
Yes.
you're ready for whatever is going to come your way today.
Yes, exactly. Now, I did find a hack because I don't like cold baths and I don't like cold showers.
I hate cold anything.
Right. You can get the same level of cortisol, dopamine, and adrenaline by simply doing a head dunk in an ice bucket. Did you know that?
No,
I kind of did because I've seen your TikToks.
Bloody time.
So I've started doing it. I've been doing it because if you live it, you know it. And I wanted to make sure that I'm speaking from a place of integrity before I start saying this. Every day I have been doing Dr. Huberman's optimal morning routine, but I've also been including the cold water exposure from Wim Hof, but doing it my own way. I found that you can actually activate the vagus nerve, the cortisol, the adrenaline, and the dopamine by simply having a basin, putting ice in it, and submerging your head in it and holding your breath in it. Holding your breath in the morning, spikes that cortisol like you wouldn't believe. You literally feel like you're going to die because the head is in the water of the ice with your eyes open. It thinks the rest of the body is in it as well. So you're going into what they call the body core temperature, heating up because it thinks it's submerged in cold water. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
So you've got that going on as well. Vagus nerve, adrenaline, cortisol, all these things. And the most important is what Dr. Huberman also talks about, adenosine. Guys, do you know what adenosine is?
No, I
I'm
don't.
guessing similar to adrenaline because it sounds similar.
It's a good try, Liz. I love that. Adenosine is the chemical that the body produces to aid melatonin in sleep.
Oh,
Okay, so melatonin, because you've done the optimal morning routine, you've sparked your circadian rhythm, you're getting natural photons in the eyes to tell the brain, let's get going, let's get on this timer. At around midday, normally around 2 o'clock, melatonin kicks in and it slowly releases throughout the rest of the afternoon. And that's supposed to make you feel tired. It's supposed to calm you down. You're not supposed to be at the high levels that you were throughout the morning. That's why we have melatonin. So by the time that it gets to the evening and you do an optimal evening routine, you are so prepped to get to sleep. You're going to be out like a light. And then the body releases adenosine to keep you asleep. That's why in the morning when people wake up, they are very sleepy. Some people even press the snooze button and fall back to sleep. And they kick themselves.
I do it
Because they're
every
like,
time.
how? That is adenosine. Adenosine has flooded your eyes, like that sleepy eyes, that feeling of, and then some people say, I have to have a shower in the morning. I have to. Yes, you do have to. Because what you are doing is you are flushing out the adenosine. So that cold water ice bucket dunk, not only is it doing all those beneficial things that we just spoke about, it actually flushes out the adenosine as well. So there you go. So this one hack that I found does all of those things in one hit. So this optimal morning routine, 0 screen exposure, natural sunlight exposure, wake up to nature's call, which you will, whatever time in the morning that is, get out of bed. You will feel the adenosine. It's definitely going to be there. Don't worry about it because you're going to flush it out. Do the ice head dunk bath. Get your head in there. Hold your breath. Hold your breath till you feel like you're going to die, quite literally. So the fastest way to do it, if you don't like being in the water for too long, I've found is you breathe out while you're in it. So take a deep breath in, get your head in it, and then breathe out. So all the bubbles start going. Keep breathing out because when you're forcing yourself to breathe out, your body is screaming, we need to breathe in. And then you stay in it for as long as you can. You'll come out gasping. Everything's live. You're very awake. And then whatever you want to do, it's completely up to you after then. Me, I'd have protein because I want the metabolism, vagus nerve, everything's live and kicking. And then I also ground myself by doing some meditation. And I'm using Alan Watts at the moment. You know Alan Watts? Speaker, little guru
No idea.
speaker.
great. Yeah.
I listen
Love a
to
good
him.
balance.
Yeah, I listen to him because he grounds me and I go for a little walk now because everyone else is asleep. Still like, 5 in the morning, 6 in the morning, everyone's asleep. So I put my headphones in, I go for a little walk, sun's up, and I've met 2 friends now. There's these 2 guys that do the same thing. I wouldn't believe it. And he's always smiling. He's like, what a great morning. I'm like, I know. And he's proper chirpy and he's like walking along and doing his power walk and that. And I just think that's 3 of us out of a whole society of people
Seriously,
that no
yeah.
longer do this. But I promise you, it's become the cornerstone of my life right now. I can't explain how challenges in the day are like water off a duck's back. I laugh at them. And this is the worst thing about it. My body wants them. My body wants them. Every morning it thinks,
Prepped.
every day it thinks, we want that dopamine that you gave us this morning. And if we have to do something hard, like something difficult, like the ice bath that we did, that's what we're going to do. And it's like, it just doesn't shy away from hard work. It doesn't shy away from difficult things. It wants them. It wants the challenges because it thinks it's going to get that dopamine that you gave it in the morning. Mental, innit? So
Yeah,
your body,
I might start doing a cold shower in the morning. I might do that by the side of it.
do it, man. You will not regret it.
Well,
So
I don't know because I do hate. I mean, I normally shower in the evenings because in the morning when I'm tired, I do not want to get in the shower.
yeah.
Probably the best thing for you. And honestly, I hate the cold. It is my weakness. And doing, you guys know that I do like cold water therapy and do the cold water swimming in the sea.
I love that you do that as well, by the way.
And honestly, I highly recommend it. If you hate the cold, it does train your mind, your breathing, your body. It has done wonders for me, because now when it is cold, like I went to a gig on Friday night and it started to rain. Normally I would be like shivering, I would be really feeling it, but I was able to I was just enjoying the gig. I was like, this is nothing compared to jumping in the sea in the wintertime.
Yeah, because let's get it right for the viewers, Liz. You get in the sea. It isn't like you just do an ice bath or a cold shower. You're in the sea. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, fully submerged, like being in the sea. And
So good.
it is
I love it.
like Baltic in the winter. It is like getting in a bathtub full of ice, like when you get in the winter. And we're not a hot country at the best of times, so this time of year it's great because we've got a bit of sunshine and a bit of heat. But yeah, it's definitely, I've learned a lot about it as well, and about like the brown fat that we have in our body, and how the cold water opens that up and it releases into our body, and like the positive effects that has, like everything you've just said. So yeah, cold showers, definitely, Michael, do it. It does. It wakes you up. It gets you set for the day. And there's nothing worse. Like if somebody just walked up to you randomly and threw like ice water on you, you'll be like, it's nothing. I have cold showers every morning. See ya.
Yeah. I mean, once I've started the day, I don't really feel the cold. But when I'm tired, I can't deal with cold.
Yeah, I get you.
But you're hot or cold, it doesn't really matter. Like my body just does it. It's just when I'm tired, it doesn't do it.
There is this really weird, like amazing feeling it gives you, and this like energy boost it gives you when you kind of know you've beaten the cold. Like I hate the cold, but like when I do the ice, when I get in the sea, just before I get in there in the winter, I'm like, oh, this is gonna be Baltic. This is going to be painful. And I'm like, I then just switch off that thought and I'm like, I don't care. I'm going in. Like, I can do this. And when I get in, once I've got my shoulders in and I'm fully like covered in it, I'm like, just doing my breathing. And I'm like, yeah, I can do this. And my body, it's almost like my body's like, you've got this. Like, you just do it. And then when you come out, and you start to feel your blood running through your veins, and you start, like, you can feel your body climatizing and trying to get you like not having hypothermia and keeping you warm. It's such an amazing feeling. It's like I beat the cold. I beat that sea.
Yeah, I've never had that. I mean, I once went to, I think, Cyprus and swam with dolphins. And the only thing I really remember about that is how much I hate the water. I never felt good about it.
Oh man. Yeah. So, you know, you're not wrong. I would love for you, Michael, to start doing the cold waters, because to do the cold showers, because you do that. Liz, you do cold sea, like exposure in the sea, and I'll do the head dunk, near death experience every morning. But because what it is there's the same result from a different method. Do you get what I mean? I really don't like the cold showers, and I really don't like getting in the sea, but I love this thing I've discovered, this hack. I flipping love it. Now, it ain't for everyone. Liz, you might not like getting your hair wet in the morning, or even first thing in the morning, dunking your head in ice water. Yeah, it's not for everyone.
Dunking your head in the water, because you're tricking your body. You're telling your body's thinking you're in the water, but actually it's just, isn't it? But yeah, if I didn't have frizzy hair, I think I'd do it every day. The head thing.
Yeah.
Definitely.
But if it's a cold shower you need, then do the cold shower, because you're not holding your breath. Now, this is why it might also be important, because I can hold my breath. I've got quite a strong heart. For someone who might not, let's say you've got a health problem or something, it might be better for you to do the cold shower. It might be better for you to go in the ocean, because what I'm doing, I'm telling my body, I'm trying to tell my body, we're going to die. Do you know what I mean? Like, we're underwater. Yeah. And then when I do come up, I promise you guys, it is not nice. I can't act like it's nice. It's not nice. But like Liz said, once you override that panic, once you override that feeling of fight or flight or whatever, you find this place of calm. You really do find this place of peace.
It is peace. Yeah.
And it's in that moment that you know you're prepped for the day. You are actually prepped. You're ready for the day.
And that feeling is addictive, I think, because that's the main feeling. That peace feeling is why when people say to me, why do you keep going into the sea? It's because of that.
It's dopamine. It's the dopamine and the adrenaline. This is what I'm saying. The cortisol high. Cortisol is stress. It's fucking, excuse my language. It is stressful. It is very, very uncomfortable. But after that comes this flush of dopamine and this flush of, cortisol, adrenaline, then dopamine, because you survived. And that lasts throughout the day. But this is why the optimal morning routine is so beneficial to aid your optimal evening routine.
Yeah.
Let's imagine now that you've been up since sunrise, you've witnessed the sunset, and you are now ready to sleep. The reason why cold water exposure in the morning is beneficial for your body is because body core temperature needs to rise. Okay, needs to rise. So that's why you have cold water exposure, because cold water forces the body's core temperature to heat up. Now, to get a good night's sleep, the body's core temperature has to lower. Hence why a hot shower at night is beneficial, because the body's core temperature is trying to cool down. So cold shower in the morning, increase body temperature. Hot shower at evening decreases body's core temperature because it's trying to cool down, and that will aid you in sleep. Zero screen time, again, cannot stress that enough. 1 hour before you go sleep. So commit to that. But you need to occupy yourself. How can you just gonna sit there for 1 hour? No. So you have your shower, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, ready for bed, lay in bed, soft light, low light. I've found that journaling, reviewing the day, has massive impacts on how I sleep, because memory is all that we really have, truly. Every moment is just you living the memory. So journaling, two things. Not only is it helping me remember all the good stuff that happened in the day, the things that I loved, maybe some things I would have changed, reviewing, sparking the memory, it's fatiguing the brain. It's fatiguing the mind. It's calming it down gradually, because I'm physically writing and I'm physically thinking. I do that for as long as it takes. Normally, a quick journal, 15 minutes. After that, I'm reading a fiction book, a story book that I've already seen, because my imagination doesn't need to be sparked. I don't need to start thinking about imagining dinosaurs and dragons. So I've picked at the moment Silence of the Lambs, Hannibal Lecter book, because I've already seen the film with Jodie Foster. And, oh God, I love him, Anthony Hopkins. Do you know what I mean? So every chapter I'm reading, I've got the film playing, so I don't need the screen. Do you get what I mean? I've already seen the film. So I'm not exposing myself to the screen time. And again, it's working with the fatiguing of my brain. Sometimes I don't even finish the chapter. By the time I'm halfway through it, I'm so tired. I'm like, I cannot even read. Close the book, switch the light off, and I'm gone and I'm asleep. Optimal evening routine. Do what you will with that. That's just worked for me. But the key thing is the zero screen time and the hot shower. Hot shower to lower the body core temperature. And you're set. Chances are you will sleep like a baby, angel. And when them birds sing in the morning, you're up, man. And the only thing you got to fight is adenosine. And you're ready, man. That's it.
Yeah, see, I sleep pretty well anyway, so I don't really need that side of it. I need the more active during the day. I want my mind firing better during the day.
Michael, are you still drinking a lot of coffee?
Yeah, I had at least 3 coffees today and 2.5 cans of Monster.
Okay.
But then I'll sleep quite easily tonight.
Do you feel like that's a lot of coffee? Do you think that's a lot of coffee?
I think to the normal person it would be, but my body's used to it.
So what if I told you that since doing this optimal morning routine, I have not needed coffee in the day? I haven't even napped.
Yeah, I mean, I can believe it, but I like the taste of coffee. So even if I wasn't drinking caffeine coffee, I'll still be drinking non-caffeine coffee because I like the taste. Like Monster, I said to someone the other day, I wish they made a non-caffeine version of Monster because I just like the taste of Monster.
Right into them. Let them know.
Wow, I don't like it that much to actually make an effort.
I love that. Right, Liz and Michael, we've reached our hour. Thank you so much for tuning in with me, and thank you, the viewer, for checking us out. Like at the Elite Thinking Club, we've been here now. This is our 3rd year. We're really, really excited because we are on all platforms. We are on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google. We're on Amazon, YouTube. And yeah, we're definitely growing. We're currently now at about like just under 360 subscribers. And for us, that's a big milestone because we've grown it organically from the go. So thank you for everyone that's currently subscribed and everyone that's new to subscribing. So hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. When we reach 500 subscribers, I do believe that Michael will be getting a tattoo of the Elite Thinking Club, which
Yeah,
he has
I've
said.
normally got one to hand somewhere, but I can't see it.
And if we reach 1,000 subscribers, then we are going to be doing a live episode at a haunted church in Canooden, and talking about ghost stories because we did episodes on ghost stories in the past, and we said that we'd do that. So get us to the goal. We'd really love to do that episode, and we look forward to it. That tonight was about semen retention at the start, and hope you took a valuable lesson away from that. And then we moved on to optimal morning routine and optimal evening routine. Really looking forward to the episode to come. I do believe that I've got a special guest lined up. I'm not going to say what, I'm not going to say who, not yet anyway,
Oh.
because yeah, loose lips sink ships and all that. We don't want to get jinxes involved, so none of that. But tonight, me, Liz, and Michael have loved you. So, Liz, Michael, what was your favorite thing that we spoke about tonight? What really, what did you enjoy the most?
It kind of all gelled nicely together.
Yeah, all of it
Yeah.
the same. There wasn't one thing that just like the pinnacle. Is it because we
I mean,
spoke
there's
about?
one thing I didn't like,
Go on.
that whoever fucking reported you.
Oh yeah, on TikTok. Yeah, I know. We was on like 100 viewers as well. We had 100 people sitting listening, and I got banned.
That's naughty, isn't it? I
Right.
loved the content about the birds and the plants, and like for us in the morning, and yeah, just giving just sort of teaching people that there's an optimal routine that could make them feel better and enhance their lives. Definitely, I that whole bit, because obviously I can't really relate to the retention. I don't have any sperm, so but it's still educational.
Wow, you could.
Speaking. Yeah. So
Sonic Bloom, Liz, that's your favorite part, yeah?
Sonic Bloom, that's my
So
favorite. Yeah.
if you have any plants in your house, play them classical music because apparently they really respond well to it. Yeah.
Yeah,
All
I'm
right.
going to tell a message when I get downstairs.
Do it.
Because she keeps trying to keep plants alive, but then she's not very good.
Put on the Pavarotti. Come on.
That's it. You want a bit of Mozart, a bit of Beethoven. You know what I mean? Bit of Chopin. Let's get it going. Right. Love you guys. You know that. I look forward to seeing you next time. I will let you know who the special guest is in time. I just need that confirmation email because I've been trying to get this one for a while. Proper. But anyway, it's great. Yeah. It's us, isn't it? It's the Elite Thinking Club, the ETC. Right. Thank you guys for viewing. We love you guys. Hit the like, hit the subscribe button. You know what to do. You know how to do it. Check out the future episodes. Check out the past episodes. Yeah, and follow us on everywhere. So we love you. From me, Liz, and Michael, everyone everywhere. Peace and love.